Survivor's Journal. Ever since the last journal entry, I've been working on cleaning up the mothership and taking care of things that I couldn't take care of before. This includes the landing gears that broke off from the grinder wall's guide shaft. That's taken care of, and fortunately it was a lot easier than I thought it would be. And also replacing or moving the actual gravity generators of the grinder wall from their original position, which was one standard armor block off to the starboard side, moving them towards the center of the ship, including the artificial mass block on the grinder wall itself, and also the securing landing gear there, and even the actual reactor to power that mass block. So all of this has been taken care of. I've also spent some time welding the outer hull for the keel of the ship, and it's gonna take quite a bit of resources. I don't think the Scarab is the proper ship to deal with this, but I'm gonna have to figure that out in its own time. It may be time to design a new miner, or possibly before that, at least a scout ship for me to scour the asteroids, because there is no more platinum, for example. But right now, there are other concerns for this journal entry.
Very well, next step in the construction of the ship printer and final system, unless I find a way to somehow cram a mining drill at the head or the bow of this ship. I'm not sure I can do that, but one more component for this system is the actual ship hologram system. I need a way to put the ship holograms for printing here. Now, what I'm planning on doing is getting them to is having a system that cannot be more than 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say 4.5 standard armor blocks wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. And I'm probably not going to build anything larger than possibly this. So from this armor block to there, that will be the not the widest, the longest I'll be able to build a ship, because if it's any longer, it will be too long and it will get jammed up against this system, which will be around here. So how can I do this? I'm going to have to transfer. I'm gonna need a grid, a small ship grid, to have small projector blocks that can project their holograms to be built. So what I'm thinking is to actually grab it from here. There's gonna be 2 of these columns here, so just for relogging purposes, there is one column here where I'm pointing with my blowtorch, connecting all the grinders together, and there will be a second column on this side. Yeah, on this side right here, connecting the other grinders together, the ones that are going to go into these spaces here, where the cross between these grinders would meet. So I've already talked about this, haven't gotten to it yet, to make another set of grinders to prevent random pieces floating away. So there will be another conveyor block located here where this tube is, and I'll be able to pull tubing or piping from there into the front part of the ship past the grinding pit here. So I can use this one to actually get a connector here. So let me start building this, and afterwards let's go with let's create a new small ship, and this small ship will be here. So what I'm going to attempt to do is to build a small connector here and have it connected by default to the main grid, the big ship grid. What am I welding here? Oh, steel plates. To the main ship grid, and from there extend some armor blocks, probably all the way over to here, and from here they can go up. And now that I'm looking at it, instead of I have to make them come up to here, and I've devised a system that will be able to have 4 projector blocks, and I'll be able to cycle through them one by one, which will be pretty much more comfortable than having to switch blueprints every time I want to print a different ship and only have one projector block. That'll be a huge boon when selecting ships. So now what I have to do is get this online and then start building the small connector. Very well, that part's done. It was relatively simpler than I thought, but now I need to actually power this connector. So let's not forget that this is a different ship here, and I need construction components for that. Okay, this is all powered up, so the magnetic lock should hold this in place as soon as I get rid of these things here. Alright. Holding it in place pretty neatly. Now, I did want to rename this stuff. Okay, I renamed them, renamed both the connectors, and lock them, so these things aren't going anywhere. Now, let's actually, what did I... yes, so I had to power it like this, so now the next step is to actually get this reactor to aim at the port, and I want this to be well placed enough. Oh dear, I'm gonna have to squeeze into here. Okay, so I want this to be here, and now all I have to do is build it and then pump in some uranium. So I'll do that, get rid of this temporary reactor, and log back in as soon as I'm done. Well, before I continue with this project the way I am, let me just try to see if I'm not being a complete moron and the space loneliness isn't getting the best of me, and see if I can't convince this big rotor here to screw on a small rotor part and use that instead. So essentially the system will be a rotor which is going to swivel back and forth 180 degrees. Yeah, ideally 180 degrees, and on each end it will have a shaft, and on the end of each shaft it will have one more rotor swiveling 180 degrees, and at the tip of those shafts will be the projector blocks. So essentially I can have one small rotor here rotating and switching between blocks, between projector blocks, and another one here doing the same, rotating between two projector blocks, and this central rotor here alternating between the two sets of two projectors. That way all the projectors can be aligned, let's say, yeah, it's best if they're aligned. I don't want to go too far down. That's something to keep in mind. I'm kind of scared that if they go down to here, well, if they do, I'll just raise it up by a single standard armor block. But right now I have to build this thing and see if I can't fit a small rotor head on top of this. Okay, I'm guessing this might actually work pretty well. I've managed to attach this thing. I tried with an advanced rotor, but I wasn't able to attach it. So, after trying with a regular rotor, it seems to have done the trick. Let me just grab a few more of these, and now comes the tricky part. I need to align these holograms as perfectly as possible with this central line here, and bearing in mind that there will be, I can't just bring this over all the way, because there's going to be an additional rotor with projector blocks. Hopefully I've built this far enough away whereas I can actually cram a welder and a grinder here, here-ish, so that the blocks that go from the projector into the main printing system can be both built and destroyed, ground down. So now it's just a matter of sound kitchen math, and this is where I want the second block to be, or where I want the projector to be. So let me count some blocks. Alright, this journal entry is about to draw to a close. I'm welding up one of the button panels in the printer control room. I'm not sure how many of these there will be, but I'd rather have too many than too few. Now we have to set this according to this. What I believe I'm going to do is to have a 3-button schematic, because the logic behind selecting each projection individually. So if we want to call this 1, 2, 3, and 4 projections, 1, 2, 3, and 4, the logic of going from 1 to 3 would be a 180-degree turn on the main rotor, and then a 180-degree turn on that secondary rotor. But if we were to go from 2 to 3, the logic would be different, or from 4 to 3, that would be a different logic, or from 1 to 2. So I can't really, I'm not able to do a button panel system where I select each one individually. What I can do, though, is a cycle system. So cycling between 1 and 2, and then a switch to cycle between 3 and 4. So one button for 1 and 2 to rotate this rotor, one button for 3 and 4 to rotate that rotor, and one button to switch between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now, in principle, this should be easy enough, and I do believe that I gave it enough room to have the the anchor blocks welded and ground down. So let's check here. Rotor for projection. Main. Okay, main, you go here, and let's tell you to reverse. Secondary 1. That's going to be reverse, and secondary 2, you are going to reverse. Okay, so we have I would like this button to be named differently. But I don't want to change the name of the rotor itself. That's kind of a bummer, because this is a little hard to read. I'm going to forget what these mean. Maybe I want an LCD panel. Like, that would be... No, I want to really avoid that, because I want a clear sight for the printing process. Yeah, I want to see the printing process clear as day. So I needed construction components. Give me one of those, and let's see if I can just stand the LCD here. I can. Okay. And I'll put the glass behind it. Will this obstruct my view too much? I won't be able to see a thing. Okay, I know what to do. I'm going to offset this and leave the central lane unimpeded, so that I can watch whatever I prefer to watch. So, button panel here, and the LCD will also go there. I will undoubtedly have other button panels, but with the size of this room, I should be able to accommodate them. So, let's see, one here, and then a second one possibly here. Yeah, I've got more than enough space. I don't have to worry about space, I just have to worry about how I make use of it. And LCD, I'm gonna have to format this possibly. Let me see. Projection. What the hell? What the hell did I do? I have no idea what just happened there. Projection, not swivel, projection shift? Maybe, projection shift. Projection change. Yeah, okay. Edit public text. So let's tell it that was 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's say 1. That is switch or alternate between projections 1 and 2. The button number 2 was alternate between projections 1/2 and 3/4, and the third button was to alternate between projections 3 and 4. So between projections 3 and 4. And hopefully this is readable. I don't think I set that to everyone read right. Show text on screen. Yeah, there you go. Font, I am going with a 170-ish green font. 172, that's exactly what I want. And I still can't see. Block is on. Edit public text. It is there. Everyone read right. Show text on screen public. Toggle block off. Toggle block on. That should be working. There you go. Don't know what happened there. Now, is that readable enough? I think it is. Might be useful to expand the font size by a bit. Let's go with, how about 1.5? And then I edit the public text and go like this between projections, projections. That's interesting. Must have been a faux pas there. Okay. Projections 1 and 2. Between projections 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay. So let's see if this. What? I should be able to. I should see that move. Secondary 1. Why aren't you? Oh, I switched them around. Okay. This is an interesting log entry here. The way the projectors are set up, they will always be facing up. The projection will always have its face up towards the upper part of the ship, meaning the printer. And even if I rotate them, I double rotated them, so the projections will always be, let's call it right side up. So that was number 1 and 2. So I should actually, this is 3 and 4. Though I'm not too happy about this. I'm probably going to rename the rotors, but that's not log entry worthy. So that is going to be it for this entry. I accomplished actually quite a lot since the last journal entry, and the next entry will probably see the system to grind and weld those anchor blocks that will go from the projector to the printed ship. Hey everybody, thank you very much for watching. Just wanted to remind you that we have City Skylines, Homeworld, and XCOM Enemy Within videos. Thank you very much for watching. Go watch the other videos, leave a like, leave a dislike, leave a comment. Just tell me what you think about stuff, things, people, ideas, and until next time, as always, I have been TheNirl, and I hope you have an awesome day.